Hello guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. And today's tutorial is going to be about how to make an old abandoned Chevy truck terrain piece. I used these photos for some inspiration. And this is started off using a toy from Walgreens, and we're using this piece of terrain for a post-apocalyptic game, 1:72 scale. Are some 172 scale-ish vehicles, toys that I bought, and I mounted them on some XPS foam. I have some sponge foo on this one over here with these rocks. It's hard to tell because it's black on black. But once we get painting this, you'll start seeing the detail come out, especially when we dry brush. This is some classic pickup truck. I disassembled the vehicle, took off the wheels. I'm going for some modern day ruins, or these could also be used for some post-apocalyptic style miniatures games. The base here is an inch high. These are, like I said, 172-inch scale, which is your standard D&D style mini, which is it's perfect for what we manufacture, the type of minis we manufacture, or your standard D&D mini or Warhammer or Frostgrave style mini. So what I'm going to do here is start painting these, and I thought I would go ahead and take everyone along on the journey. Now, I'm not very good at painting this sort of stuff, but I really do dig painting nature. I really like nature scenes. So I also like entropy and ruins and destruction and stuff too. I think that's cool. So for this one, I have sponge foo rocks, and on this one, I have XPS foam rocks. I decided to take the tires out because I figured it would kind of give more of an older effect. And I didn't add any dents or dings to these because I didn't want them to necessarily look like something for Gaslands. And I do have a lot of the miniatures for that, which I do, the dents and dings. But on this piece, I didn't really want to. And I left these doors open because they not only can they do so, but it might add a little more cover for the game we're playing. We're going to be doing a post-apocalyptic Thundar the Barbarian style Frostgrave game, and in any of the cartoons that I've been watching, there's always some kind of car in the background, or maybe Ochre the Muck is throwing a car. So I thought I would make some of these, and in fact, I went and bought another toy of a Volkswagen Bug that I've gone ahead and disassembled. I'm going to leave the tires on this one. There's actually in the Thundar intro, I think, Ochre throws a Volkswagen. And once again, if you're not a 50-year-old dude, you're not going to probably know what Thundar the Barbarian is. I think you probably have an age range of like 47 to 52 maybe. So the truck, it was originally blue, and this car was originally white. And I think I'm gonna swap that out. I might go red on the truck, or like a maroon on the truck, and I'm not sure about this, even though I did miss a couple spots when I was priming. And there's some blue showing through. Oh, wait, no, I think I went the line of blue right there that I missed, and the line of blue right there. Yeah, I really don't know. I guess I was going to do that blue on there. I do not know, though. But if I do go with the blue, I'm going to do the Citadel blue. Do I do a blue truck? Blue truck or red truck? If I do the red, it's going to be Vampire Red from Army Painter. And then I have, I think this is a Citadel paint. Yes, a Citadel Temple Guard blue, and I have a Vampire Red. So, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by its toe. If it hollers, make the tiger pay $50 every day. My mother told me to pick the very best one. Okay, we'll do this one. Blue. And I bought some new brushes Of all places, I got these at Walgreens. There was like $6. Probably too overpaid. But like I said, I lost my brush. My favorite brush, which is kind of what looked like this one. These are not the best quality, but I think it'll work. So let's get going on the truck. And for the truck, we did eeny, meeny, miny, mo. We're going to go with the blue. So shake this up. Now I know that this paint's gonna require 2 layers of paint, so it's just gonna be how it is. I've played around with this blue paint before, and it's just gonna require 2 layers. C'est la vie. So 2 layers it shall be. Also, this is a piece of terrain, so, you know, I don't have to, does not have to be perfect. I really do, even though we make and manufacture miniatures, I'm actually more of a terrain maker than a miniature painter. I just have a problem with the really small minis and catching on that detail. So. And I've also pretty much my whole life had a love-hate relationship with painting, but I'm actually starting to enjoy it. At the ripe old age of 49 and a quarter. Now, I really do like these fancy paints from the hobby shop. Actually, they're from the game shop. I really do enjoy the Citadel brand, and I like the Army Painter, and everyone I've tried so far I've enjoyed. So, I suggest if you want some really good quality paints, support your local game shop. I'll leave an Amazon link for some Army Painter stuff. Amazon's got some good deals if you don't have access to a friendly local game shop. Or maybe your friendly local game shop, they're mean. You don't want to give them your money. I understand that too. So there we go. I think this is looking pretty good. Even if it's not even, I mean, it doesn't even have to be even. I kind of like the details of little bits of black shadow on there. Like that, like this, like that, or whatever. What's that one dude? The craftsman. So I'm trying not to get these things, but it ain't happening, Linda. It ain't happening, Linda. Okay. So let's get in there as best I can. I'll just have to stay a shadow. So there we go. So see how nicely that paint just went on there? It dries really quick. Creates a nice layer. And that is the Citadel. Once again, the Citadel. This is going to be easier than I thought, Linda. Let's not curse it. So since I don't know if this is the correct way to do this or not, but since I painted the brush this way with one layer, I'm going to go the opposite. And I think this kind of helps to get rid of obvious brush strokes. But like I said, sometimes the rough is not so bad. Because I like to do ruins and such, so it works. It works for entropy. For little Mama Nature taking back some. See, these little cheap brushes I got from the Walgreens are doing pretty good. It's like $7 or something for these brushes. There's a big old bunch of stuff in there. Whoops. I do not want that to be there. Need that to go. I was going to rust this out, but I don't know if I want to rust it out now. Kablam! See how quick that went? That went really quick. Okay, so here's where we're at so far. I'm going to make sure these still open. It's still kind of a little dry or wet or whatever. Oh shit, there we go. And I didn't paint perfectly, and I think that's okay. Got a little bit of black. All right, so now that this has had a chance to dry, I'm gonna go ahead and paint this, and I'm gonna try and get that too, and paint it a silver. And I may want to do something on the back there with that Chevrolet. So for this, I'm gonna go in with my let's see, gunmetal. I try gunmetal gray. It's just a cheap craft paint. And we'll use one of these brushes. I'll use this brush. See how this works out. I may want to go a little lighter with the brush. No, we'll see what happens. So just and there we go. Whoops, I gotta clean that up. But there we go with the grill. Just clean this up. Right now, right quick. And that was just a little water to get rid of that. Now I'm gonna have to look at my reference and see what to do about those lights. And here's what the grill looks like. Also did the windshield wipers and the door handles. And looking at this, I think I may want to go in with another layer of blue on this piece. I'm taking this brush and I'm going, it's pretty crappy. It's one of those, I think it's a new Walgreens brush. As you can see, the bristles are kind of crap. But I'm going in and using it to finish up layering extra bits of paint on the truck. So I'm kind of spot touching and adding the next layer of blue, because I didn't feel as if the first layer was quite enough. I also went in and touched up a little bit around anywhere of the silver areas. So, all right, here we go with the touch-ups. I think it's looking pretty decent. Granted, we are not going to be even this close with the minis when we're playing the game, but I think it looks pretty good. The next thing we need to do is start painting the texture. And this is one of the reasons why I like to get really cheap brushes, like this dollar store brush here. This is from a pack of cheap dollar brushes, and those brushes I got at Walgreens are super cheap. I like getting these type of brushes because I use a lot of textured stuff with my terrain, and this I think this wrecks a good brush pretty quick. Running up the bristles on this gravel will do some serious damage. So I like doing the cheap brushes. And I'm going to do my tried and true method that I've been basically doing for my other terrain that's going to match this. And we're going to start out with this is a color called Cocoa Bean, which is a more on the darker side of a brown. And I got it on clearance super cheap. I got a couple bottles of this and I like it. So I'm going to use this for, here's the color if you want to check out the color we're going for. So this is what I'm going to use as my pseudo base coat, I guess you could call it. Let's look at a chunk of that on there. And I like to paint on cardboard. As you can see, I use this also as my palette, or in instances where I get too much paint on there and I'm worried about it. So you can see that. I've been experimenting with some new lighting ideas. I think it's working out pretty good what I've got going on so far. Better than what it was before. But I hope you can see what I'm doing, because I can't really check out the camera. So let me just at least try to make sure it's in focus. So take the paint, and if I feel like I have a little too much there, so I just take my brush and twirl it. And then go a little crazy and come back and just twirl on some more. So that's the technique I'm using for all of this. Now in my original thought, this is the sponge foo right in here. And in my original thought, I was going to paint that gray, which may still happen, but I'm kind of having a change of heart. I think it looks fine. The texture, I think, is pretty cool with what's going on. And it's different than the XPS foam rocks, so pretty good with it. So, also, I'm not being super particular about this. I do want to get some of the paint in between the rocks. And I also want to let some of the black show, because I think it adds a nice little element. If you've watched some of the other videos I've done, I like to use at least 3 colors. I think more looks better a lot of times. Not always. You don't always need that. But especially when doing some nature scenes, because nature doesn't really just have one color. Go out there and look closely. She likes her millions of colors plus. Also, I have to remember not to touch this, because I more than likely have brown paint on my hand and I will mess up my paint job. One of the nice things about this brown is that it can splatter on your model a little bit, and it's like if your paintbrush goes a little crazy or whatever, and you miss, and it's okay. It just looks like mud. Or you could also use it as a brown base for getting some rust going in there. So there we go. So I'm just gonna dig in here and get all this, because there's a lot of paint in there. Ta-da! First layer is finished. I really need to grab a hold of it by the vehicle. So let me try and get some of this brown down here in the sponge food land. Yikes. Alrighty, so gotta do a little more of this. We shall be done. Finitos. Todos finitos. Voila, voila. Okay, so here's where we're at. Everything is kind of dry, pretty dry. There's a little tackiness going on, but I'm gonna keep going with the video. Next, I'm gonna go in with these art paints. You can get these pretty inexpensively. It's just an acrylic paint, and gotta pierce that. So these are pretty cheap. I got these, I think I got this set at like $5 and below or something, or that $5 shop. And we're gonna do the burnt umber. Got a little toothpick to pop that tube open. Use a little toothpick. And once again, I'm going to grab a very crappy, cheap brush, because this texture will tear up any good quality brushes. So I don't really need that. And if you look here, you can see on my palette the differences in the browns. And I'm just gonna blotch in spots to create a varied interest of color and texture. So if you see, I'm just gonna hit some of these edges because it's gonna start the process of when we get highlighting, and it'll only, I think, add an additional layer to it. And what I like to do is just blend out, take whatever's on my brush, and in spots where I have a lot of color, just take and just pull and blend the paint everywhere. Crimson Red Lake. And here's the 3 colors I've been working with so far. So we've got our cocoa bean, which would be right in here. And then this was the brown we just used. The burnt umber. And then here is the Crimson Red Lake. So I don't want a whole lot of this red on there. So I'm just gonna do little bloop-de-bloop blops and let the paint run out on the brush, because as that happens it changes colors. That's fine with me. So I'm just taking little itty bitty bits of the red. And then let's try a little bit of yellow ochre. Our palette, and then I'm going to do a little ripe tomato too. Oh, it's not even. Oh, there we go. That paint looks pretty rough. Some pretty old, nasty paint, but whatever. Now I'm going to go in with the red tomato because I've used it on the other pieces, and I kind of want to keep this a little bit more on the consistent side. So after that red ochre nightmare, I don't know what's going to go on with this brush. So let's do... Just going to do a little dabs here and there. Here's where we're at with the piece. Going now with some strong tone Army Painter Quick Shade Wash. I'm going to put that on the vehicle. All right, so here's progress so far. I did toss a little gray on here, a little bit of the storm cloud, I think it was. Storm cloud gray somewhere. This one, storm cloud gray. I'm sorry, gray storm, my bad. So I did toss a little bit of gray storm on the sponge foo rocks right there. Territorial beige. Territorial beige. And I'm going to use my loose powder brush, which is a new trick that I learned about. Here you can see how nice and smooth that is. The skin. So for that, use Territorial beige. And that's stuck, of course. Okay. So I'm just going to dip in the cap because it has plenty of product on there. And then I like to put it on the cardboard first, get it all off. And then I put it on my hand to see if I like how that feels. And then just go to town. And for this, I'm doing a circular motion on the rocks and whatnots, because I think that looks best, or works best. Whoops. Let's see if I can pick up some more of that paint. Nope, nothing really on there. It dried too quick. So I'm gonna go in here, get it on my bristles, and then now I'm gonna tap my edges. And get a little definition on there. So I'm gonna put a little paint there. And what I got? And there's our piece. Now I'm thinking about doing, crap, I got some tan on there. Thinking about doing a dry brush on the truck, like I do for some of my Gaslands stuff, but I don't know if that'll work out or not. Will I be wrecking this on my work, or will I be making it awesome? I think that's pretty cool, giving a nice little dust effect, like if it was indeed in the desert or some kind of dry terrain climate or something. I think it's looking pretty good with that final little dust. Crusty, dusty, musty. Do a little bit on there. There's the Chevrolet signs popping out a little more with that dry brush. You can see that more of that Chevrolet sign. But I think that's looking pretty cool. With that little light dusting. And this color that I used was antique parchment. Here we go with the dry brush on there. I think it's looking pretty good. And dry brushing, the wash. Dry brushing is much more obvious on this one. I went a little too heavy on here, but I'm gonna leave it. It looks deserty and dusty. I also hit these rocks. I hit the sponge foo rocks. And I think we're good to go with our terrain pieces.